Once it was the stuff of science fiction, a species brought back from extinction after vanishing eons ago.
Imagine a world where prehistoric giants roam once again, from woolly mammoths lumbering through the tundra to the eerie call of the dodo. The dream of reviving these lost species is closer than ever.
A Texas-based company is spending millions of dollars to try to bring back the Tasmanian tiger, an animal extinct since the 30s.
Embark on a journey through time, exploring the thrilling and contentious realm of de-extinction. Number 1. Woolly mammoth, the Ice Age giant. Envision the vast, icy landscapes of the last ice age, dominated by an impressive behemoth, the woolly mammoth. These majestic creatures, with their shaggy coats and grand tusks, once roamed across the northern hemisphere. Today, they stand at the forefront of de-extinction efforts, a scientific quest that could turn fantasy into reality.
Right now, a team of geneticists at Harvard are on the verge of bringing back the woolly mammoth.
The woolly mammoth, a cousin of the modern elephant, adapted remarkably to the cold environments of the Pleistocene epoch. Covered in a thick woolly coat and possessing a layer of fat for insulation, they were the quintessential survivors of their time. However, about 4,000 years ago, the last of their kind vanished, possibly due to a combination of climate change and human hunting. Fast forward to the 21st century, and scientists are now considering the mammoth for de-extinction, thanks to groundbreaking advancements in genetics. The process involves using DNA extracted from well-preserved mammoth remains found in the permafrost and integrating it with the genetic material of their closest living relatives, the Asian elephants. This mammoth-elephant hybrid could potentially exhibit many of the physical traits and behaviors of its ancient ancestors. The implications of such an endeavor are vast. Ecologically, reintroducing mammoths could have profound effects. Proponents of de-extinction argue that mammoths could help restore the Arctic tundra ecosystem. Their activities, like trampling and grazing, could potentially turn the tundra back into grasslands, which in turn could help combat climate change by storing more carbon. However, this vision is not without its challenges and ethical concerns. The welfare of the first mammoths, the potential impacts on existing ecosystems, and the moral implications of bringing back an extinct species are complex issues that scientists and ethicists continue to grapple with. Number 2. Dodo, the emblem of extinction. The dodo, a flightless bird once native to the island of Mauritius, has become an iconic symbol of human-caused extinction. This large, plump bird, with its distinctive curved beak and tufty feathers, lived in an ecosystem devoid of any major predators. Uniquely adapted to its island home, the dodo's life was tranquil until the arrival of humans in the late 16th century. Life for the dodo changed drastically with human colonization. Unprepared for the new predators, including humans and animals brought by them, the dodo's population rapidly declined. By the end of the 17th century, this bird, which had thrived for centuries, was no more. Its extinction was one of the first times humanity recognized its impact on nature, turning the dodo into a poignant symbol of loss. Today, the dodo stands at the center of a revolutionary scientific endeavor, de-extinction. This ambitious effort aims to bring back extinct species using advanced genetic technologies. For the dodo, the process begins with extracting and sequencing its DNA from well-preserved remains. A challenging task given the degradation over centuries. The next steps would involve using this genetic material to recreate a living dodo, most likely through a combination of genetic engineering and cloning techniques. However, the journey to bring back the dodo is fraught with scientific and ethical complexities. The quality of ancient DNA, the choice of a suitable surrogate species for incubation, and the recreated animal's welfare are just a few of the numerous challenges. Furthermore, reintroducing the dodo to its native habitat, now drastically altered, poses significant ecological concerns. Beyond these challenges lies a deeper ethical question. Should we bring back a species that humans drove to extinction? This question fuels ongoing debates among conservationists, scientists, and ethicists. The prospect of resurrecting the dodo forces us to confront our past mistakes and ponder our responsibilities toward nature. Number 3. Tasmanian tiger, the mysterious marsupial. The Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine, with its distinct striped back and dog-like appearance, once roamed the forests of Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea. Officially declared extinct in 1936, this marsupial carnivore has since then captivated the imagination of scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. The mystery surrounding its extinction and the tantalizing possibility of its return make the thylacine a prime candidate for de-extinction, interwoven with ecological change. A unique example of convergent evolution, the thylacine resembled a large dog with a kangaroo-like pouch. Predominantly a nocturnal hunter, it was an apex predator in its ecosystem. However, the arrival of European settlers in Australia brought about habitat destruction and competition from introduced species like dogs. Coupled with extensive hunting driven by the misconception that thylacines killed livestock, these factors led to their rapid decline and eventual extinction. In recent years, the prospect of resurrecting the Tasmanian tiger has moved from the realm of science fiction to a tangible scientific goal. Advances in genetic engineering and cloning have opened up unprecedented possibilities. The resurrection process involves several steps, starting with the extraction and sequencing of thylacine DNA from preserved specimens. The next hurdle is to use this genetic blueprint to recreate thylacine cells, possibly by editing the genome of a closely related species such as the Tasmanian devil. However, the journey from a genome sequence to a living Tasmanian tiger is riddled with scientific, ethical, and ecological challenges. Ensuring genetic diversity, the welfare of the first individuals, and their potential reintroduction into modern ecosystems are significant hurdles. The recreated thylacines, if ever brought to life, would need a suitable habitat, and their impact on contemporary ecosystems would have to be carefully evaluated. The quest to bring back the Tasmanian tiger is not just about reversing extinction, it's a reflection of the human desire to correct past mistakes and a test of our technological and ethical boundaries. As we edge closer to potentially seeing a living thylacine once again, it's crucial to remember the lessons from its demise and ponder the responsibilities that come with such formidable scientific power. The story of the Tasmanian tiger, thus, is a poignant reminder of our past and a hopeful gaze into the future of conservation and genetic science. Number 4. Passenger pigeon, skyflocks reimagined. The passenger pigeon, once the most abundant bird in North America, graced the skies in flocks so massive they darkened the sun. These birds, with their distinctive iridescent plumage and sociable nature, were an ecological marvel. However, by the early 20th century, they were driven to extinction by relentless hunting and habitat loss. Today, the passenger pigeon's story stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of nature under human influence. Recent advancements in genetic science have brought the idea of resurrecting the passenger pigeon from a mere fantasy to a plausible goal. This de-extinction effort aims not only to bring back a lost species, but also to restore a part of the ecosystem that vanished with them. The reintroduction of passenger pigeons could potentially rebalance forest ecosystems, as they once played a crucial role in seed dispersal and the dynamics of North American woodlands. The process of de-extinction for the passenger pigeon involves reconstructing its genome using DNA from museum specimens and then editing the genome of a closely related species, such as the band-tailed pigeon, to match it. This genetic engineering feat would produce birds with characteristics similar to the original passenger pigeons. However, reintroducing these birds into the wild presents complex challenges. The modern landscape is vastly different from the one passenger pigeons once inhabited. Questions about how these birds would adapt to current ecosystems, their impact on other species, and their susceptibility to disease are critical considerations. Moreover, the ethical implications of such an endeavor must be thoroughly examined. This includes the welfare of the first generations of revived pigeons and the potential long-term ecological consequences. Number 5. Saber-toothed cat, the fierce predator. The saber-toothed cat, often synonymous with prehistoric ferocity, captivates the imagination with its iconic long, curved canine teeth. These magnificent predators, which roamed various parts of the world until their extinction about 10,000 years ago, continue to intrigue scientists and the public alike. The idea of reviving such an awe-inspiring creature is not only thrilling but also laden with a multitude of scientific, ethical, and ecological considerations. Reviving a species like the saber-toothed cat, whose closest living relatives are significantly different, presents a unique challenge. Advances in genetic engineering, particularly CRISPR-Cas9 technology, offer a potential pathway. This would involve piecing together the saber-toothed cat's genetic sequence from fossilized remains and then editing the genome of a similar species, such as modern big cats, to replicate its distinct features. However, the completeness of the genetic data available and the complexities of accurately recreating the saber-toothed cat's unique traits pose significant hurdles. The feasibility of such an endeavor extends beyond the laboratory. Assuming a successful resurrection, the reintroduction of saber-toothed cats into modern ecosystems raises profound questions. Their prey and habitat have drastically changed since the Pleistocene epoch. The impact of introducing a top predator into contemporary environments would need careful evaluation, considering the potential risks to existing wildlife and human populations. Number 6. Giant ground sloth, the leafy giant. The giant ground sloth, a colossal creature from the Pleistocene epoch, once lumbered through the forests and grasslands of the Americas. These massive mammals, some species of which could reach the size of modern elephants, are a marvel of prehistoric life. With their long, curved claws and slow, deliberate movements, they were an embodiment of the diverse megafauna that characterized that era. Today, the prospect of reviving the giant ground sloth not only stirs excitement, but also prompts a careful consideration of its potential impact on the modern world. Giant ground sloths were primarily herbivores, feeding on leaves, twigs, and fruits. Their dietary habits had significant implications for their ecosystem, as they helped shape the vegetation patterns through browsing and possibly aided in seed dispersal. Understanding their lifestyle and ecological role is crucial when contemplating their reintroduction. It offers insights into the complex interactions within Pleistocene ecosystems and raises questions about how a revived giant ground sloth would fit into present-day environments. The process of de-extinction for the giant ground sloth would be a formidable scientific challenge. It would involve reconstructing its genome from fossilized remains and then using advanced genetic engineering techniques to produce a living organism. Given the giant ground sloth's size and unique physiology, this task is particularly daunting. The viability of the resulting creature, its health, and its ability to survive in a world vastly different from its original habitat are significant concerns. Number 7. Megalodon, the ocean's colossus. The megalodon, an enormous prehistoric shark that once dominated the world's oceans, is a creature of both fascination and fear. This apex predator, believed to have reached lengths of up to 60 feet, dwarfed even the largest of today's great white sharks. Its formidable size and powerful jaws, capable of crushing whale bones, have cemented its legendary status. As we delve into the potential for its revival, the megalodon stands as a striking example of the extraordinary capabilities of nature and the bold ambitions of modern science. Megalodon's existence spanned millions of years, during which it reigned supreme in the marine food chain. Its diet likely consisted of large marine mammals, such as whales and seals. The disappearance of Megalodon, approximately 3.6 million years ago, is still a subject of scientific inquiry, with theories ranging from climate change to competition with other predators. Understanding the life and times of this colossal shark is crucial for assessing the implications of its possible return. Reviving a species like the Megalodon presents unprecedented challenges. The primary obstacle lies in obtaining viable genetic material, as DNA degrades over time. Even if scientists could overcome this hurdle, the next steps, reconstructing its genome and finding a suitable surrogate for gestation, are daunting. The sheer size and biological needs of a megalodon would pose significant logistical and ethical dilemmas. The ecological impact of reintroducing such a dominant predator into today's oceans is a matter of intense debate. The megalodon's presence could drastically alter marine ecosystems and the current balance of species. There are concerns about its interaction with existing marine fauna and the potential risks to human activities. Number 8. Moa, New Zealand's lost giant. The moa, a group of large, flightless birds that once roamed the lush forests of New Zealand, represents one of the most intriguing cases of extinction. These towering birds, some species of which stood up to 12 feet tall, played a crucial role in their ecosystems before their sudden disappearance a few centuries ago. The moa's extinction, primarily due to overhunting by early human settlers, dramatically altered New Zealand's natural landscape. Today, the possibility of their return through de-extinction efforts not only excites the scientific community, but also offers a unique opportunity to understand and possibly restore a lost ecological balance. Moa were diverse, with 9 known species, each adapted to different environmental niches across New Zealand. As herbivores, they played a significant role in seed dispersal and vegetation dynamics. The absence of these great birds led to notable changes in the flora and fauna of the region. Understanding the moa's ecological role is essential in evaluating the potential impact of their return. Reintroducing moa could help restore ancient forest ecosystems, though the modern environment has changed considerably since their extinction. The science behind the moa's potential revival is a blend of paleontology, genetics, and advanced biotechnology. DNA samples from well-preserved moa remains provide the genetic blueprint necessary for de-extinction. However, due to the degradation over time, the DNA is often fragmented and incomplete, posing significant challenges. Using techniques like gene editing and cloning, scientists aim to reconstruct the moa genome, possibly using a related bird species as a surrogate for gestation. Number 9. Giant orthocone, the ancient cephalopod. The giant orthocone, a colossal cephalopod from the Paleozoic era, conjures images of an ancient oceanic world vastly different from our own. This remarkable creature, with a conical shell that could reach lengths of over 30 feet, dominated the seas roughly 450 million years ago. Its presence in the marine ecosystem was akin to that of the largest predators in today's oceans. The potential revival of the giant orthocone through de-extinction efforts offers not only a glimpse into a prehistoric past, but also poses intriguing questions about the future of marine biodiversity. Orthocones were part of the nautiloid family, ancestors of modern-day squid, octopuses, and cuttlefish. Their elongated shells, which they used for buoyancy control, and tentacles equipped for hunting, made them formidable predators. They likely fed on trilobites and other small marine creatures, playing a significant role in the Paleozoic marine food chain. Understanding the giant orthocone's life and ecological impact is essential for assessing the consequences of its potential return to modern oceans. The process of reviving such an ancient species is fraught with scientific challenges. Extracting viable DNA from fossils millions of years old is a daunting task, as genetic material degrades over time. Should this hurdle be overcome, the next steps would involve reconstructing the orthocone's genetic code and finding a suitable method for its reanimation, perhaps using a modern cephalopod as a surrogate. Number 10. Terror birds, the walking predators. The terror birds, known scientifically as Forus racids, were a group of large, flightless birds that once dominated South America as apex predators. These formidable birds, some species of which could stand nearly 10 feet tall, reigned from the Cenozoic to the Pleistocene epochs. Their sheer size, powerful beaks, and incredible speed made them one of the most fearsome predators of their time. Today, the prospect of resurrecting these extinct avians stirs a mix of excitement and apprehension, reflecting the complex nature of de-extinction science. Terror birds were known for their agility and hunting prowess, capable of swift, deadly strikes on their prey. Their lifestyle and hunting strategies filled a niche similar to that of large predatory mammals in other continents. Understanding their role in the ecosystem is crucial when considering their revival. Bringing back terror birds could offer insights into the functioning of ancient ecosystems and the evolution of predatory behaviors. The process of reviving terror birds poses significant scientific challenges. Like other de-extinction projects, it would start with the extraction and analysis of DNA from fossil remains. However, Given the age and the potential degradation of the genetic material, this task is particularly daunting. Should viable DNA be obtained, the next steps would involve sophisticated genetic engineering, possibly utilizing a genetically similar bird species as a template. Number 11. Giant beaver, the ecosystem engineer. The giant beaver, scientifically known as Castoroides, was an impressive creature that roamed North America until about 10,000 years ago. This massive rodent, considerably larger than today's beavers, played a vital role in its ecosystem, much like its modern relatives. Weighing up to 220 pounds and measuring over 8 feet in length, the giant beaver was an incredible example of Pleistocene megafauna. Its potential revival through de-extinction efforts brings to light not only its fascinating biological characteristics, but also its ecological significance and the broader implications of such scientific endeavors. Giant beavers, with their large size and distinct behaviors, were likely influential in shaping their environment. They may have been instrumental in creating wetlands and modifying forests and waterways, much like modern beavers, albeit on a larger scale. These activities would have had significant ecological impacts, contributing to biodiversity and creating habitats for various species. Understanding the ecological role of the giant beaver is crucial in evaluating the potential benefits and challenges of its reintroduction. The prospect of reviving the giant beaver presents a complex scientific challenge. The process would begin with the extraction of viable DNA from well-preserved fossils, a task complicated by the degradation of genetic material over millennia. Advances in genome editing and cloning technologies offer a potential pathway to reconstruct the giant beaver's genome and bring this extinct species back to life. However, the feasibility of reintroducing the giant beaver into modern ecosystems raises several questions. Their habitat preferences and ecological requirements have to be considered, especially given the significant changes that have occurred in North American landscapes since their extinction. The impact of reintroducing such a large ecosystem engineer on contemporary environments and species would need careful assessment. Number 12. Irish elk, the antlered giant. The Irish elk, known scientifically as Megaloceros giganteus, stands out in prehistoric annals for its magnificent antlers, the largest of any known deer species. These creatures roamed across Eurasia during the Pleistocene epoch, leaving an indelible mark on the ancient landscapes. The Irish elk's antlers, which could span up to 12 feet and weigh over 80 pounds, were not just impressive displays, but also a testament to the evolutionary wonders of the animal kingdom. The feasibility of resurrecting this majestic species not only piques scientific curiosity, but also raises important questions about our role in the revival of extinct species. The Irish elk's defining feature, its massive antlers, were likely used for mating displays and dominance contests, playing a crucial role in its life cycle. These creatures were herbivores, grazing in grasslands and forests, and their presence would have had a significant impact on their ecosystem. Understanding the biology and ecology of the Irish elk is essential for assessing the potential challenges and impacts of its de-extinction. The resurrection of the Irish elk involves daunting scientific challenges, primarily in obtaining and reconstructing its genetic material. While DNA from well-preserved remains could provide the necessary blueprint, the task of piecing together a complete and viable genome is complex. Advances in genetic engineering might allow scientists to edit the genes of closely related deer species, potentially leading to the birth of animals bearing close resemblance to the Irish elk. Number 13. Steller's sea cow, the gentle marine giant. Steller's sea cow, a majestic marine mammal, once graced the frigid waters of the North Pacific, particularly around the Commander Islands. Discovered in the 18th century and named after the naturalist Georg Steller, this gentle giant was an impressive sight. Measuring up to 30 feet in length and weighing around 10 tons, Steller's sea cow was the largest member of the Sirenia order, which also includes manatees and dugongs. Sadly, within less than 30 years of its discovery, intensive hunting by humans drove this colossal herbivore to extinction. Today, the story of Steller's sea cow is not only a grim reminder of human impact on wildlife, but also a subject of intrigue in the realm of de-extinction. Steller's sea cow was a slow-moving, docile creature, feeding mainly on kelp and other marine vegetation. Its large size and inability to submerge completely made it an easy target for hunters. The extinction of this species had ecological implications, as it played a significant role in maintaining the health and diversity of marine ecosystems through its grazing habits. The prospect of reviving Steller's sea cow presents a fascinating challenge to scientists. The primary step involves obtaining viable DNA, a difficult task given the time elapsed since its extinction. Advances in genomic science could enable the reconstruction of its genetic blueprint, potentially using closely related species like the dugong as a genetic template. However, the process is fraught with technical and ethical challenges. Number 14. Carolina parakeet, America's lost bird. The Carolina parakeet, once the only parrot species native to the eastern United States, is a poignant example of extinction caused by human activity. These vibrant birds, with their striking green bodies, yellow heads, and red accents, were a colorful spectacle in the American wilderness. Their extinction in the early 20th century was a result of a combination of habitat destruction, hunting for their feathers, and susceptibility to diseases from domesticated birds. The Carolina parakeet's disappearance marked a significant loss to North America's biodiversity and left a void in the ecosystems where they once thrived. Today, the Carolina parakeet's story is not just a tale of loss, but also of potential rebirth. Advances in genetic technology have brought the possibility of de-extinction within reach. The process would involve reconstructing the parakeet's genome from preserved specimens and then using advanced techniques to bring this species back to life, possibly through the use of a closely related parrot species as a surrogate. Number 15. Aurochs, the wild ancestor of cattle. The aurochs, the wild ancestor of modern domestic cattle, once roamed the forests and grasslands of Europe, Asia, and North Africa. These formidable beasts, standing up to 6 feet at the shoulder and characterized by their robust horns, were a vital part of ancient ecosystems. The aurochs played a significant role in shaping the landscape through their grazing habits and were an important part of human history, depicted in cave paintings and mentioned in historical texts. Their extinction in the 17th century, primarily due to overhunting and habitat loss, marked the end of a species that had thrived for thousands of years. In recent years, the prospect of bringing back the aurochs has gained attention, largely driven by advances in genetic science and a growing interest in rewilding projects. The de-extinction of the aurochs would involve reconstructing its genetic profile from ancient DNA and then using this information to selectively breed modern cattle species that possess similar traits. This backbreeding approach aims to recreate animals that resemble the aurochs, both physically and genetically.